Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. Today onwards we begin the chapter number 3, that is elements, compounds and mixtures. The classes are also going on live on the Teams app. You may be seeing the live classes. We will continue the same also on the YouTube. So on the YouTube you can watch the recorded classes and the live classes are already going on. So in this present video we will be beginning the chapter number 3, the elements, compounds and mixtures. Although I have taught the first part in the live classes, but as we are beginning with the YouTube also, so we will do this chapter from the beginning only. So the chapter is about the different types of substances that are present around us. All the things around us are different types of substances, and these substances only, we can classify these substances into different types. One can be as element, another one is compound, and the third category is of mixtures. So these are all different substances that are present in our surroundings. So basically we will be studying only what type of substances are around us and how they are formed and what are their properties. So as I told, we are learning about different substances, and all the substances around us are the form of matters. Matter can be of different state. It can be solid, it can be liquid, or it can be gas. So for example, you can take water only. Water can exist in solid, liquid and gas. As ice is solid, that is also it is formula is H2O. Similarly, water, that is liquid, its formula is also H2O. Last one, water vapor, a gas, that is also H2O. So what we learn from this, that is matter, same thing only, can be existing in all different forms. The same substance can exist in different manners. It can be a solid, it can be a liquid, or the same substance only can be as a gas also. So that is what we call as states of matter. The states of matter can change, solid to liquid, liquid to gas, and opposite can obviously happen, that you have learned in the previous chapters. In this chapter we will be learning about how the different substances are combining together to form different substances. So the simplest substances are actually called as elements. So here we will read in this paragraph, that is what we are going to learn is how the different things are composed of kinds of matter or different substances. So the simplest substance in our surrounding, the simplest substances are called as elements. Elements are the most simplest substances. After that, when different elements, we can say two or more than two elements are joining together, then on combining they will form compounds. So the simplest substances, element, different elements combined together, then we get compounds. So different elements and compounds are only surrounding us. Also we have mixtures. What are mixtures? Only a broad outlook I will give you. Mixtures are formed by the combination of element and compound. When different element and compounds are joining together, what we are getting is called as a mixture. So that is a mixture. So now only for introduction I have told you, in brief only I have told you, we will discuss all these topics in details now in this chapter. So as I told you, everything around us is matter, and the simplest form of matter is element. So let us now quickly move to the topic of element, that is on this page. You can have in this you can read this in the book. Later on you should read the book after the video, then you will understand it better. So now we'll move on to the definition. An element, what is an element? It is any substance which cannot be split into simpler substance by chemical means. Now to understand this definition, we will break this into smaller parts. So an element is a substance. What kind of substance it is? It is that substance that cannot be split into simpler substances. Cannot be split means it cannot break. It is not possible to break this single substance or single element into simpler substances or smaller substances. And by which method they are talking about? By chemical method. Chemical method means by doing any reaction. In chemistry, many chemical reactions are involved. So if we are doing chemical reactions on any element, chemical reactions are done with any element, then also we cannot break it. Chemical reactions cannot break a particular element into simpler substances. So that is the definition. I hope it is clear. Once again I read, it is what? Any substance which cannot be split into simple substance by chemical means. So chemical means, what is the meaning? Already I told you, chemical means you can also write as chemical change. As you may be knowing, changes are of two types. One is physical change, another one is chemical change. So chemical means, say by the meaning of this word chemical means is chemical change only, or chemical reaction. So now the element definition, you know. Now there are many elements. How many exactly are there? So exactly the number is not fixed. New elements are discovered every day. So broadly you can learn more than 115 elements are known today. They are known. There are many more. They are maybe present. We don't know. In the future they may be discovered. But till today we know about 115 elements. So you can learn this number. You can mark this in your book. Examples now. Examples we'll read about the elements. For example, hydrogen is an element. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, magnesium, iron, aluminium, copper, silver, gold. All these substances are what? All of them are elements and they cannot be split. All these substances are elements, so they cannot be split into simpler substance. By which method? By chemical method. So all these are the examples. You can learn any 2-3 out of these. Also you should be knowing every one of these, like an exam. For example, the question may come like question I will write for you. Like we may ask in true false, you have to tell true or false, and the statement is written gold is an element. So is gold an element? True or false? If you know, if you have learned, if you have gone through the book, then you will know, yes, gold is an element. It is true. You can see the name is written here in the example, gold, that is an element. So hydrogen, oxygen, all these names are about elements. These are only few examples. Exactly how many are there? More than 115 are there. All you need not to learn, all you need not to know, only few are given in the book. That much is enough for you. So some examples you should be knowing. So examples we have seen of element, definition we have seen of element, number of elements also we have seen. Now we will classify these elements. How we can categorize them, how we can classify the elements into different categories. Broad categories are two only. One is called as metals, the second one is called as non-metals. So element are of two types. Elements are of two types, that is given metal as well as non-metals. First we will see the metals. So most of the elements, majority of the elements are metals only, and they are having some general properties. One by one let us see. For example, the first property given here is luster. All the metals have a luster. Luster means what? Luster means there is a shine or a shining is there. All the metals are shining in nature. You may be observing all around you different metal objects are there. They all are shining. Even the simplest or the commonest one metal, you can see iron metal, that is around us. Most of the objects are made of iron. It is also having some kind of shining nature. You can see the jewelry items, all are shining because all are made of metals. Different objects you can see made of metal, all are having shining, and this shining only is called as metallic luster. The metal having a luster, they are having a luster, and this shining is called as metallic luster. The second property is about they are hard or soft. So generally all the metals are hard solid. Most of the metals, in fact all of the metals are very hard. Only one is the exception. Which is that exception? That is mercury. This is important, you mark in your book. Mercury is the exception there. That is the only metal that is liquid. All the metals are what? All the metals are solid. You can see here they are hard solid written here. So they are solid. So all the metals are what? Solid. Only one is liquid. Which is that liquid metal? That is mercury. So this question becomes important. Question will be name, or which name is better, will write name. Question will come like this: name a liquid metal. So answer you will tell what? Answer is for this liquid metal is answer given, that is mercury. So mercury is the liquid metal. Only one metal is liquid, mercury. Remaining all metals are what? Remaining all metals are solid in nature. Different objects are there around us which are made of metal, and all of them are solid. Where is this mercury of, you can observe mercury in the thermometer, not the digital one, the old one. The thermometer is having mercury liquid inside it. By that the doctors can check the fever temperature, how much the person is having the fever, in what temperature it is being shown by the level of the mercury. So mercury is present there. So we have seen the point number 2. All the metals are solid and they are very hard. Because they are solid, obviously they will be hard. But there is one more property. Metals are hard, but they can be beaten into sheets. Means we can make their sheets. We can convert the hard metals into sheets by beating them regularly. That work is done by the blacksmith. The people who are working on the metals, they are doing their day-to-day activities with the metals. The blacksmith people are doing this thing. They are manufacturing these things. They are preparing these things and selling them in the market. So sheets example we can take, like iron sheets. Different sheets are made of iron. They are used to make a temporary shelter. Iron sheets are used. So iron is a metal. It is a strong metal, but it can be converted into thin sheet. You can have your aluminium foil paper. Another example of sheet is aluminium foil paper, that is used to pack the food. In your lunch box you may be seeing there is aluminium sheet. So aluminium is also a metal. It is not that much thin. It has been beaten out regularly. In the factories it is done by machines, and because of regular beating it get compressed into a thin sheet. So that is the property of a metal, that it can be beaten into thin sheet. One more property is given here in the same point, that is they can be drawn into wires. Different wires are there that are electrical wires to conduct electricity. All the electrical wires, all the appliances are having wires. So these wires are also made of metal. Which metal? Generally it is aluminium. It is which metal? It is aluminium. Al I will write, that is aluminium. Also there are certain types of metal that are made of, that is copper. Copper also used for making wires. Sometimes silver, that is also used to make wire. So different type of wires are present, and that is the property of metal only. Metal we can stretch them. अगर हम metal को stretch करते हैं, then they can convert into wires. So 2 points are given in the same thing only. They can be beaten into sheets. Also the metals can be drawn into wires. Next, now when struck they produce a sound. Whenever the metal are struck, when they are hitting each other, a sound will come, and that sound will be metallic sound or a metallic clink. What is metallic clink? The sound that is produced whenever a metal object is hit. Example, you can say like the bell. Whenever the bell is ringing, a surround sound is come. A surround sound appears. That kind of sound only is called as metallic clink. Next, now heat as well as electric current can pass through this. Means heat can supply through metals, and also electricity can supply through metals. Electricity can supply, that is why we are making wires of metals. Obviously also heat can supply through metals. That is why we are making utensils of metal. That is also a mixture of metals. That is stainless steel. So different metals are there in that particular utensil object. So heat can transfer, also electric current can transfer or pass through the metals. We'll see the next that is given here. Some examples are given. Already we have gone through these examples. Now we'll see the next one, that is non-metals. The non-metals are fewer in number. They are very less in number, and they are having certain properties. First one you can read here. They are dull looking. They are not that much shining. Like the metals are shining in nature, the non-metals are dull looking. They do not shine that much. But here also certain exceptions are coming. What are the exceptions that are given here? Let us see here. That is, example is graphite. You can see in the pencil lead. The pencil lead is made of graphite and it is shining. You can see it in the daylight. If you see, it will shine at some corners. At the edges it will shine. So that graphite is one non-metal which is shining. So this question also we can ask. Name a shining non-metal. Like this question can be asked. Name a shining non-metal. So that is there. One more is given here, that is iodine. So graphite and iodine both you have to learn. They are shining in nature. Remaining others are all dull looking. They do not shine. Like for example of non-metal, you can take carbon. Carbon is a non-metal and it does not shine. कार्बन का एक एग्जाम्पल हम ले सकते हैं कोल. Coal is used for burning, especially in winter season. You may see people are burning coal and getting heat. So coal is not shining. If those who have seen coal, they may be knowing. So coal is not shining because it is a non-metal, that is carbon. So because of that we can say they are dull looking. Second one we will see here, they are brittle in solid state and they can easily break if they are beaten or bent. Means we cannot make their sheets. Like metal sheet we can make, also metal wire we can make, but in case of non-metal we cannot make sheet, also we cannot make wire. Why is it so? We cannot do so because the non-metals are very brittle. Brittle का मतलब होता है weak. They will easily break. अगर हम उसको बीट करेंगे शीट बनाने के लिए, we have to beat them regularly like in metal we are doing, but in the case of non-metal, the non-metal will break. It will convert into powdered form. So that is what we can say, they are brittle in the solid state. Next now, they do not allow heat or electric current to pass through them. That is, heat cannot pass, also electric current will not pass through the non-metal object. So that is just opposite property of the metal. Metal के अंदर heat or electric current can pass, in the non-metal it cannot pass. Here also exception is given, that we will read. What is the exception? That is graphite. In the graphite, electric current can easily pass through that. So that is, I told you the example of graphite is where it is present in the pencil. In the pencil, the lead, not the outer one. Outer part is wood only, but in center it is graphite and it can conduct electric current. ये सिर्फ single non-metal है which can conduct electric current. So that is all we have seen, the different properties of the non-metals. Also some special type of non-metals are there. They are called as noble gases, like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. All these names are given for what? They are noble gases. What means noble? Noble means they do not react. They will not do any chemical reaction. They are simply present, nothing will happen to them. They do not react with anything. That is why they are called as noble gases. So that is a separate special types of the element. They are all the noble gases are non-metals. So normally under the ordinary condition non-metals are solid. Some of the non-metals are solid. There is one non-metal that is liquid. The name is given there, that is bromine. So you will mark this name. These names are important. So the question becomes important, that is name a liquid non-metal. Earlier we will have learned liquid metal. Liquid metal, that is in thermometer. Answer is mercury. Similarly, name a liquid non-metal. So in the case of liquid non-metal, what you will write? That will be bromine. The remaining ones now, after the liquid non-metal, many non-metals are gases also, like hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, nitrogen, argon. All of these are gases. So non-metals are of all types. They can be solid, they can be liquid, they can be gases. Non-metal, solid, liquid, gas, तीनों हो सकते हैं. But in the case of metal, what we have seen above side, I will come. In the case of the metal, only solid are there. All the metals are solid. Only one liquid, that is mercury. And in metal we do not have any gas. कोई भी metal gas नहीं होता है. No metal is in gaseous form. So that is, we have learned about the metal and non-metals. Now we will come to the how the element are represented. How to write the element name. Element name is written in the form of symbols. Different symbols are there. For writing the symbols, what we will use? We will use the English language names. So like hydrogen starts with H, so H becomes hydrogen. Similarly carbon C, nitrogen N. So we have to take the first symbol only, first symbol or first alphabet only. Like oxygen में O लिखा है सबसे पहले, so O, capital O only will become the symbol for that particular element. So this is the particular rule, the first rule for writing the name of any element. You have to use the first alphabet of that English name. Similarly sometimes first alphabet is same. अगर first alphabet same हो जाता है दो elements का, then we will write two letters. Like here in this example you can see here calcium and carbon and chlorine. Calcium, carbon and chlorine. All of these start with C. तो अगर हम calcium को C लिखते हैं, carbon को भी C लिखते हैं, calcium को भी C लिखते हैं, then there will be problem. वन ओनली कैन गेट कार्बन, कार्बन को हमने ऑलरेडी C लिख दिया है, बिकॉज C मीन्स कार्बन, देन क्लोरीन यू कैन नॉट राइट एज C, then it will be wrong. So what we will do, we will use something else. What we will use now in this case of chlorine, we have used the first and the third letter, C and L, that is first and third letter. Similarly in the case of calcium we have taken Ca, that is calcium. So that is how we have to take these two letters so that we can differentiate, we can have some differences between the symbols. One more similar example is given, that is magnesium and manganese. Both are elements and you see the first two letter now, Ma, both two शुरू के two letters same हो गए. Then what we will do in this case, we will use the first one, that is M, and the third one, that is G. In manganese also first one M and G we will not use. What we will use? We will use N, because G we have already written in magnesium. So Mg मतलब क्या हो गया? Magnesium, Mn manganese. So this should be clear now, magnesium and manganese. So these are some examples how we can write the different symbols. First rule is we have to write the first alphabet only. Second one is we have to write the two letters. The third rule is given there, that is for certain elements which are given the Latin names. Latin language was there, which was used in the earlier days. Now it is not used. It was used in the earlier days in the chemistry. Different elements were named in Latin language. जैसे आयरन को पहले क्या बोला जाता था? It was called as ferrum. Similarly, many other are given. Sodium was called as natrium. Copper was called as cuprum. So these are certain examples. So all the symbols we'll learn very fast in the upcoming days. So from their names only, from the Latin names only, we have taken the symbol. Natrium spelling starts with Na. So from that Na only we have taken Na. अगर हम लिखते हैं that means sodium. Similarly iron we will not take the spelling of iron, we will take the spelling of ferrum. So ferrum starts with Fe. So Fe मतलब क्या हो जाएगा? Fe is the symbol of iron. Similarly copper is called as cuprum. So cuprum first two letters are Cu. So whenever Cu is written in chemistry we will say that it is copper. So Cu is the symbol of copper. First alphabet should be capital, second should be small. So that is all. The topic of element is complete. Different symbols are given here in the table 3.1. This you have to learn, that is your homework, and you have to write this. All will write this table in the copy. Where you will write? On the diagram page. On the diagram side page of your copy you have to write this table, and you have to learn this also. All the symbols you have to learn, and these can be asked in the exam, and both ways you will learn. Sometimes what will be there in the question will be this like element name will be written, you have to write the symbol. Also sometime opposite may come. Sometime in the question we will ask you symbol will be given and you have to write element. So both ways you have to learn. So practice this and write this in the fair copy, in the classroom copy, and then learn this. Now we'll move to the compounds. Up to compounds only we'll learn today's video. That is the substance that can be split into simpler substance by chemical means. It can be split. Now if you remember, when we learn the definition of elements, there we have talked that they cannot be split. Element cannot be split, उसको हम break नहीं कर सकते हैं. But compound can be split. It can be broken into smaller part by chemical methods. So this is the difference. Element को हम break नहीं कर सकते हैं, compound को हम break कर सकते हैं. So that is the basic difference. So here example we will see. For example, water is a compound and it can be split into two parts like hydrogen and oxygen. Two parts can be there. Similarly, carbon dioxide, two parts can be there. One is carbon, second is oxygen. Similarly, another example that is given, sugar is broken into three parts, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Similarly, one more is given, salt is also compound. It is made of sodium and chlorine. So salt we can break into two parts. One will become sodium, another one will become chlorine. So this is how we can say different elements are joining to make a particular compound. How the compounds are formed, two examples are in the syllabus, carbon dioxide and water, that we will see in the next video. We'll continue this chapter. So today we have seen the full topic of elements, how to write the symbol, this symbols table number 3.1 on page 26. That is the homework for this week. You have to write this in the fair copy and learn all of them. The compound definition I told with the examples. Now in the next video we will learn how the elements are joining together to make compounds. So that is all for today's video. We will be back in the next class. We will learn about CO2 and water and the remaining topics will continue in the next video. That is all for today. Thank you.